I always knew something was wrong with my daughter. I just didn't know what. My daughter was 4 when I first noticed something was off. We were at the playground and all the kids her age were climbing the jungle gym or going down slides, but not my Clara. She stood perfectly still, her eyes closed, face tilted toward the sky. When I asked her if she wanted to play, she said, "I am playing, mommy. I'm listening to the yellow music the swings make." I smiled, assuming it was just imagination. But then she refused to eat her carrots at dinner. "Why won't you eat them, sweetheart?" "Because orange tastes too loud today. It's hurting my ears." Then her preschool called me in for a meeting. "Clara is a sweet child," her teacher said carefully, "but she's been concerning the other children." I asked what she meant and she said, "She keeps telling the other kids what colors their feelings are. Yesterday she told a girl that her sadness was sharp yellow triangles and started crying because the shapes were too pointy. She refuses to sit near certain children because their voices taste like metal or their laughter smells purple. The children think she's strange." At home, things escalated too. Clara would wake up screaming, "The red noise is too loud. Make it stop." There was no noise, and she'd draw the most incredible pictures, swirling colors that somehow captured emotions perfectly, even though she was only 4. "Mommy, your worry is getting spiky purple again," she told me one evening, looking up from a drawing of jagged purple lines. "Are you scared of me?" "Oh, baby, no," I said, pulling her close. "I'm not scared of you. I'm scared for you." My pediatrician referred us to a neurologist. After extensive testing, he called me into his office. "Your daughter has severe synesthesia," he explained. "She experiences sensory crossover. Sounds have colors, emotions have shapes, tastes have sounds. It's fascinating, actually. Most synesthetes have mild crossover between 2 senses. Clara has crossover between all of them." Then his face grew serious. "The intensity of Clara's synesthesia isn't normal. That's why we ran further tests. Clara has a tumor in her temporal lobe. It's what's causing her synesthesia to be so pronounced." The room spun. He said, "It's growing slowly, pressing on multiple sensory processing areas. The tumor is essentially rewiring her brain to create these extraordinary sensory experiences." I begged him to remove it, but he told me it was inoperable. There was nothing they could do. He estimated she had 2 years to live, maybe less, and that during that time her synesthesia would worsen. I drove home in a daze. Clara was waiting on the porch with her babysitter and her face lit up when she saw me. She said, "Mommy, did they find out what's wrong with me? You smell like broken glass." I took a deep breath and said, "They realized nothing is wrong with you, sweetheart. Nothing at all." Over the next months, I tried to memorize every part of Clara. I saved all of her artwork, her beautiful descriptions of the world only she could see. "The sunset is singing tonight," she told me one evening as we sat on the porch. "Can you hear it?" I said, "I wish I could, baby." Her symptoms worsened gradually. She got headaches that made her curl up in dark rooms. "The pain is bright white with red edges," she'd whisper. "But if I think about purple rain sounds, it gets smaller." School became impossible because the fluorescent lights screamed in yellow, and other children's voices tasted like sandpaper, so she stayed home with me. One night, she climbed into my bed, her small hand finding mine in the darkness. "Mommy, I need to tell you something important. My head pictures are getting bigger and scarier. The colors are starting to hurt instead of being pretty." I said, "Clara, you're staying right here with me. We'll figure out how to make them pretty again." But 3 weeks later, she collapsed during breakfast, her hands pressed against her ears. "Everything's too loud. All the colors are screaming." In the hospital, surrounded by beeping machines, she looked terrified at first. "Mommy, the machine colors are so bright. They're making rainbow waterfalls." But then she smiled weakly. "Wait, they're not scary anymore. They're beautiful. Like a light show just for me." The monitor showed her brain activity spiking in impossible patterns. In her final moments, she reached up as if touching something invisible. "Look, Mommy," she whispered. "Everything is singing in colors now. It's so beautiful." And then she took her last breath, and the most incredible soul I've ever met left this world. At her funeral, I placed her artwork in her small casket. Hundreds of drawings showing a world of impossible beauty that only she could see emotions as colors, sounds as shapes, a universe where every sensation was transformed into art. That's when I knew that her condition wasn't a disease. It was a window into something beautiful that the rest of us are too limited to perceive.